One of the scariest true stories I've ever heard. Back on October 17, 1941, police found the lifeless body of 73-year-old Philip Peters inside his Denver, Colorado home. He'd been bludgeoned with an iron rod. Strangely, all the doors and windows in the house were locked and there were no signs of forced entry. While this was going on, Peters' wife had been in the hospital recuperating from a broken hip. She returned to her now empty house along with a housekeeper to help care for her. Over time, both women became increasingly terrified as they began to hear strange noises throughout the house in the middle of the night. Eventually, the housekeeper quit because she was convinced the house was haunted. Mrs. Peters soon abandoned the house as well. She moved in with her son in western Colorado. This left the house empty, or so they thought. Over time, neighbors began complaining to police that strange things continued to occur inside the house. Movement could be seen from inside, and sometimes lights would click on in the middle of the night. Police staked the home out. Then on July 30th, 1942, one of them noticed some movement inside the house. They burst in and ran upstairs to the attic just in time to see a pair of skinny legs sliding inside a tiny trapdoor. Police reached in and dragged out a skeletally thin homeless man named Theodore Edward Coneys. The 59-year-old Canadian immigrant had broken into the house weeks earlier and found a tiny trapdoor in the attic that would have been too narrow for any normal-sized man, but not for someone as scrawny as he was. Coneys had been living inside the house completely unbeknownst to Mr. and Mrs. Peters. That is, until one night when Mr. Peters caught him downstairs stealing food from the fridge. After that, an altercation ensued, and Coneys beat the life out of the old man. It was because of Coneys' narrow stature that the press dubbed him the Denver Spiderman. So the next time you hear a strange noise inside your house, you might want to check to make sure you really are truly alone.